Hey everybody, and welcome back. It's Voxel Twig and another episode of Sky Factory 3. Let me go ahead and show you what we did off camera. We went and we increased the size of our smeltery, so now we can smelt an entire stack of items at one time. And we also added a couple more basins and some casting tables. And I know last time we were debating whether to jump right into machines or farming, and I decided that we're going to go with the farm. And what I did was I went ahead and I got our farm area laid out. And the reason is with farming, part of the quest is specifically to craft Inferium seeds. And Inferium seeds are used to grow Inferium. But once you have grown it, you can then use Inferium to make other seeds. Now, the tier 1 seeds aren't that great, but you can use Inferium to make the next tier up, which is Prudentium, which is then where you would then make things like fire seeds, nether seeds, dye seeds, cow, chicken, silicon, sulfur, start getting into the metals. So we can grow metals. And that's beneficial to us because in order for us to get started on machines, we need a lot of metal. But what we don't have a lot of is nuggets and tin and pieces and things, which requires a lot of sifting, a lot of hammering, and all, a lot of that kind of stuff. And I figured if we can get started on the farm up front, what we can do is, while we then work on machines afterwards, we can let that run in the background. So, the first thing, we're going to skip these two. We did prepare a farming space. And now we're going to craft an Inferium seed. And the reason we're skipping these is just because a counter jar is just going to give us milk, which we don't really need right now. And a watering can, we can make that. I think it costs iron, though. I'm not 100% sure. Or no, it's just stone in a bowl. So I guess we can do that. That's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. So, silly me. Don't mind me over here just talking like a crazy person. So we're going to go with that. And that. Is that it? Do I really need smooth stone for this? Ugh. Take that. And while that's working, we can craft our Inferium seeds. And so what these will do is these will allow us to actually grow Inferium. And with that, we can, get more Inferium, which then we can make tier 2 seeds, tier 3 seeds. And the higher tier Inferium seed you get, the more Inferium you get when you harvest. And then the watering can is what speeds up that growing process. The next thing we're going to do here is we are going to make a matic from Tinkers. And with a matic, what that is going to do is that is actually going to be, let's put our stone here, that is going to be, I believe it's a shovel and an axe and maybe a pickaxe at the same time. Not 100%, I know it's one of those. We'll get the wooden handle and we'll get a nice wooden binding. Then we'll come over here and there's our matic. So a matic is an axe and a shovel and a tool rod. Boom. And what this does is this will act as a shovel and an axe at the same time, but it also allows us to hoe the ground. So those are all things that we're going to need to do because I did not till any of the grass over there because I wanted to wait for you guys to do all that. And then we got our sweet, sweet watering can. Put that here, and we'll go ahead and head over here. Let's fill this up. Right click on the water, I think. Yep, hold right click down. You can see the bar filling up there. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but that's what we got. And I think over here we're going to start. This is not centered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Made a horrible mistake here. Oh no. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're going to start in this corner because it's symmetrical. We'll fix that later. Does this run out of water? What the heck? Either way, so what we're going to do is we're going to start hoeing the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to start with our Inferium seeds here. And then next to them, we're just going to go ahead and start putting down our we're going to start putting down our regular old seeds, start growing some wheat, because we will need wheat for chickens. Lots of wheat is going to be needed for those chickens. So it's going to go a long way if we can get it sooner rather than later. Get this all tilled. See, you notice we did pick up a worm. Worms are great. What they're going to do is they're going to increase growth time and keep the soil watered, even if there's not water around, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do know for sure that the worms do increase growth time. So, if we put it down right here, oh no, I have to break that one. There we go. So they work in a 3x3 area. So then I put it there, and then those will grow faster. So let's put them all right there. Perfect. And then we'll put another worm right here. And then we'll put another one right there. But for now, we're going to plant all of these. Get the wheat going. I'm not too concerned about the growth time on the wheat, just because we're going to have a lot more of it to start with than Inferium seeds. And it's just not a huge concern right now. And you guys will see what I'm talking about as far as these chickens once we get up and running here, but it is a lot of wheat. I think we're talking like hay bales is what we need to make some of the things for these chickens, and each hay bale is 8 seeds. So let's go back over here. Our mattock broke. Let's just repair it to full. And the best way to get this Inferium early on is that mob dropper that we have there. It's every once in a while you get lucky and some of it drops, and you can get a lot of it pretty quick. I ended up getting a little over a stack just from sitting there grinding out some kills earlier. And we'll get the rest of this planted. Do have some other seeds that I'm going to plant as well. So we'll see how those work. Carrots, pumpkins, melons. Let's try this. I don't know if these are gonna... Yep, so these work. So we got potatoes, sugarcane, nope. Carrots. And then we'll go pumpkin, pumpkin, pumpkin. Melon. Melon, melon. And that'll get to work. So that's a mattock, starting a food farm, and an Inferium farm all at the same time. And now if we don't... I don't know, can we just put sugarcane down? Like, yes, we can. Okay. So the next thing on the book here is we need to prove to the world that sand grows sugarcane faster than dirt with a block of snad. So let's check. I don't know what snad is. Snad is just 2 sand on top of each other. That's suspiciously easy. But we'll take their word for it, I guess. So this should just be snad. Alright. And you know what, we'll just... Okay. Put that... Oh. I've made a horrible mistake. See, I forgot that when I made the platform, there was nothing below it. So there goes our precious, precious snad. Not to fear, though. Make another one. Don't really know what we're going to need a ton of sugarcane for yet, but if I find out that we need a bunch of it for something, then I will probably make a designated sugarcane farm somewhere over there, just to make sure that that's taken care of. Storage is just getting out of hand. Matic, pickaxe, sugarcane, wood. Okay. So that's that. And now using nesting pens to automate resource collection from chickens. That's this whole nesting pen situation. So you got nesting pens. And a nesting pen is planks and an egg nest, and an egg nest is 3 hay bales, and a hay bale is 9 wheat. So to make one nesting pen for a single chicken, we need 27 pieces of wheat. That's for one chicken. Just one. That's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to water these. See if these speed up at all. So you see it's up to 14%. This goes any actually 29%. Yeah, so the entire time we were doing all the other farm, none of this grew at all. And now with the watering can, it goes pretty fast. And we'll see once one of these pops up, you'll be able to see, boom, this one's ready. So we right click it, we got one piece of Inferium. And so what'll happen next is once we get enough, we can make a tier 2 Inferium seed, and what that'll do is that'll give us 2 Inferium every time it harvests. Tier 3 would give us 3, and so on and so forth. So it's a whole process just to get more and more Inferium, because we need the Inferium to make the higher tier materials, to make the higher tier seeds. So, I mean, a lot of people, myself included, would first want to think maybe they would just go right for the higher tier and get, diamond right out of the gate, but you'd be better off just focusing on getting the highest tier Inferium seeds possible, or at least a tier 2 or tier 3 seed. That way you can triple your output before you start focusing on making other seeds. And again, later, this is also something that we can automate later with, I think, garden cloches. So that's something to keep in mind. We'll get to that later, but for now, we're just focusing on getting everything up and running just to get started. And I'm looking for bone meal. Oh, there's one. It's wonderful. But we got lots of bones. Lots of bones. So we're going to take that, get some bone meal, and we're just going to put 1 stack back. Because I want to get the first nesting pen. This doesn't look any faster. Stad's a joke. So we're just going to spam through some of our bone meal here. Try to get a bunch of this wheat, because we're going to need a lot of it to make this nesting pen. We're at least going to make the first one just to get the box checked off. And then, boom. And then we can get a sweet, sweet chicken in there. So that's checked off. And then, let's see. Do we need to make a net? It's an animal net. Sticks and string. String. My trusty crafting table on a stick. Make a net. Come here. Alright, now we should be able to trap animals. All of them, not just the chickens. So let's see. You just go to the bathroom everywhere. So, oh, got a cow. Alright, so we got this chicken. And if we put him, he'll be right here. He'll be the guardian of the keep. So if we shift right click, and puts him in the pen. That's nice. So we got his next drop is in 2 minutes and 48 seconds. You can fill these 4 things. So with that, aside from capturing a cow in the jar, in order to do that, we need an anvil, which requires several blocks of iron, which we don't have right now. But that brings us into mystical farming, which we're not going to be able to do all of this because we're getting to the point now where we're not going to be able to finish an entire chapter all at once. Like, crafting supremium armor is near impossible at this point in the game, but we can get started on some of it, like iron seeds, some of these things, and we're going to be basically bouncing around a lot. So like the age of machines is something we might start doing, but I don't know if the chickens are actually part of the achievement book or just some fun thing to do. And it looks like it's just something fun to do that's very helpful. And what I'm talking about here is chicken. If you look at all of this, these are all the different chickens that you can get. Starting with your regular colored chickens, bone white, orange, magenta, and it tells you can breed the chickens together. And then you can get things like uranium chicken, glowstone chicken, iron chicken. So like an iron chicken is a bone white chicken and a flint chicken that has a 20% chance of being bred. But to get a bone white chicken, it's throwing a bone white chicken egg, which is bone meal and a regular egg. So while we work on the other things, getting these chickens up and running is something that I definitely want to get done as soon as possible. It's going to take a lot of wheat. It's going to take a lot of chickens, but it's something that I know we can do. And we're going to end up having probably a separate area that's just for chickens because there's going to be so many of them as far as breeding and getting them done. And that'll be a whole thing in itself that we go over, just how to get the chickens and how to breed them. A lot of them are easy to get as far as breeding, but some of them you have to, like, they can't. Some of the chickens that can't be bred, like a gray chicken, you need gray dye. Gray dye is ink sac and bone meal. Purple, I don't know, purple dye is red dye and blue dye. So it's a whole process, but we're gonna get there. We'll figure it out together. But for now, we've done the age of farming. Got a couple more Inferium essences. And keep on trucking. I think in between episodes, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to get to work on... Oh, not that. I'm going to get to work on... I'm going to get some heavy sifting done. And I'm going to work on getting things set up for our storage system. Because once we actually get to sifting, we're going to have a ton of these ore pieces and a bunch of other things, and we're going to need somewhere to store them that's not just assorted chests. So I'm going to do that between episodes. I'm going to start getting the sieves going and try to get some pieces so we can start, getting the smeltery put to good use, upgrade our tools, and start getting into machines. Because the first thing we're going to have to do is figure out how to generate power. And if we can get this to go a little bit faster, we'll probably try to find a way to pump out the lava and power the generators that way. And then once we have iron, we can upgrade our cobble generator, and go from there. But I think that'll about do it for this episode, because like I said, we really finished, as far as the book is concerned, the bare minimum of the farming age. But there's going to be a lot more to it once we get up and running. This will all be filled with food. It's just... The book is only concerned with, getting the first step done as far as getting you on the path. It's playing the game. Like, obviously this is not going to be all you need for the entire game. This is just to start you off. Same thing with the mob dropper. That's to start. And then you got to sit there and you got to grind out. You got to get the loot bags, get the Inferium, get all your experience. Chickens, you get one chicken to start you off on the path, but it takes a lot of time to get everything going, and that's what we'll do in the next videos. And in between, I'll do a lot of the housekeeping things, so you're not just watching me hold bone meal over some wheat and gather wheat and sift for an hour and a half. It's not really as exciting for anybody, but I'll go ahead and do that, and then I will catch you all in the next episode. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. If you didn't like it, leave a comment below. Let me know what you want to see different. This is Voxel Twig, and I hope you have a great day.